Hi everybody, it's Ace. I was talking for about 30 minutes, not 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and then I realized that I had forgotten to hit record. So I'm pretty much just talking to myself, which is not unusual actually for me. So, anyway, how's everybody doing? Hope you guys had a good week. It's Saturday here. I am wrapped up in my blankie with some warm coffee because it's freaking cold outside. It's just above freezing, which for where I'm at is freaking cold. It doesn't usually get that low. So, but at least I'm not getting pelted with snow like a lot of the country is right now. But I am by a window, so that's why I have the blankie because I'm cold. So, but it was a pretty good week. I had a really great week actually. I got to create a curriculum display for February, and I'm working on March, but I did February, and it looks freaking amazing. And that was kind of the highlight of my week. It just brought me so much joy. I love telling a story through pictures, like bullet points and stuff. And so I love doing like displays. I love doing PowerPoints with lots of pictures. If it's just a PowerPoint with a lot of words, I'm like, what the It's got to have at least one picture on the PowerPoint. Visual. So that was a lot of fun. And, the kids were great, and the teachers were great. And I'm learning Tilshutsi, which is a native language for around here, for the tribe. And it's a very interesting language. It can seem overwhelming at first because it's got 42 letters in the alphabet, which I'm like, damn, that a lot. But they give a letter to like each sound. So each letter represents a sound, and it's a specific sound. It's more specific than English. And even though English has certain sounds, they leave them out, or like an A can sound, make different sounds. They don't have that. They're like, this is the sound. If they had an A that had a different sound, it would have a different letter to go with it. And a lot of their words and stuff sound like the land. So like the word for like crow, I don't know what the word for crow is, but it sounds like a crow cawing, which is pretty cool. But the lesson that we had yesterday, he took us through some of the alphabet. We didn't get through it all because, like I said, it's 42 letters. But we got, I think, all the way to L, and that's with like 4 different C's and K's sounds. So, but it was good. He put it in a song, which is great because I learned through music, which a lot of people do. And so we did that. So I know the alphabet song through that, and then I know how to say good morning until she'd see, which is, let me make sure I get it right. Let's see. I think it's ha sahil. Ha sahil is good morning. I could be saying that wrong, but I think it's ha sahil, which I'm trying to like do little phrases and stuff so that I can remember. Like I did when I worked at a Somali English, and so I learned a little bit, phrases and stuff there as well. Like uba is flower in Somali, and iya, or I, is dog, eey, in Somali. So trying to do that. It's a 10-week class. We'll see how it goes. I think the number one thing that I have whenever I learn a new language is actually speaking it to people, because I'm like, gosh, I sound horrible. I'm butchering, I'm sure, this language. But you gotta practice. If you don't practice, you don't learn. So that's been fun. And then also yesterday was Friday, so I got to go to D&D, which, oh my gosh, it's been like a month since we've played D&D, because the last time we went was the day after Christmas, and then it got canceled the next time. So we do it every 2 weeks, so it's been like a month But it was exciting because one, I got to write in my new journal that I got for Christmas. So isn't it pretty? It's pretty. So I got to write in that, and that was a lot of fun. And then it's just nice to hang out with people who, at this point, I wouldn't consider them friends. I would consider them still acquaintances. But, we bounce off each other really well and have a really good time. And we're just there to tell, like, the most funny story that we can. And so, we murdered. We killed, I guess murder, self-defense. They attacked us first. Some gazers and then two hobgoblins were trying to sneak in to find this guy, rescue this guy from a gang. And so we did that. We ran into a rat person named Roscoe, who is my favorite NPC. Our DM did such a good job with this NPC. Usually she does like a Scottish or Irish accent. And this was a different accent, and she did a really good job. And he was really cute and funny and stuff like that. And so he led us to where the guy that we were looking for was. And in the room, he's on the floor, and there's like this orc with like flaming boots standing over him. And then in the shadows was like a mind flayer. And I was like, oh my god, we can't do that. We can't beat a mind flayer. Like, we're only level 3. Like, we're gonna die. But luckily he left and just left intellect devourer. So then we have 2 paladins in our group, and one of them wanted to use command to like kill, but you can't command a creature to like hurt themselves. So I was like, why don't you just use it to command kick, and so he can kick the intellect devourer like across the wall with his flaming boots. And she's like, oh my god, yeah. And so she had the orc go over and kick him, and the little brain went flying across and got a little singed, and he didn't like that, so he attacked the orc, and he lost a little bit of intelligence, which was good because he's a spell-casting orc. And then my husband, who's a ranger, got to kill the intellect devourer. He shot the arrow, and it went through the fire and into the brain, the intellect devourer, which previously another character who was proficient in taxidermy, so she had formaldehyde and she had poured some on it. So this brain is covered in formaldehyde and then just got struck with a arrow that's on fire. So he went up in smoke and died. And then we had our necromancer killed the orc, who was a spellcaster, and it was really, he killed him with chill touch, but it was really funny because the guy that we were there to save was on death saving throws when we got there, and we hadn't had a long rest yet, and so the paladins who had spell slots didn't really, I think one of them had none and the other one had one, and they didn't use it on the guy, and so I have cure wounds, so I cured him, and he was back, and then the orc cast fireball, of course, and hit our paladin and the guy again, and so the guy was on death saving throws again, and the paladin used the spell to heal themselves. And I was like, this guy is dying. I was like, I don't have any more casting spells. I'm like the 3rd defense when it comes to like healing people. Like the paladins are our healers in our group, and I'm like very low on the list. And so I was like, oh my gosh, do I have anything? Luckily, I had looted a place and got like 2 healing potions. So I gave him a healing potion, and I was like, if you try to die again, you're dead. Yeah, I'm just gonna let you die. I'm not gonna waste my last healing potion on you. Which is something my character would say, because she's very like, she doesn't take a lot of crap. She's like, all done. And so she stabilized him, and then we killed everything that was in the room, and then we got the heck out of there. So that's where we ended it, and we got to level up to level 4. We were started at level 3. So like I said, we just started this back in October, so it was really nice to be back and playing and having fun. and stuff. So that's been kind of my week. Also, I've been thinking about streaming on Twitch. I would love to stream on Twitch. I just don't know what I would stream. So if you have any ideas, you could put them in the comments. That would be great. Because I don't know what I would stream. I have a couple ideas, like maybe I could do like, because one of the goals that I have for this year is to create a character for each class and like subclass and species. So maybe that's something I could do, like create a character for each one. So that's something that I could do, and then I could go on Hero Forge and create the minis for all of them, which would be fun, because I do like creating minis. Or you know, I could do other things too, maybe something art related. But again, I'm not very, I like drawing, but I do get very frustrated because I'm very perfectionist, and it's been a long time since I've drawn, so I'm not that great anymore. I mean, when I was 9, I was like awesome, but it's not a skill that I honed and practiced. So, but anyway, so I don't know, if you have any ideas on what I could do, let me know. I would like to, my goal is to stream at least once a month. So whatever that is. And that can evolve too. I could also talk about the book that I'm trying to write, which is hard because, again, I think in pictures, and so having to translate pictures into words is very difficult for me. So it's been pretty slow going. It will get done eventually, just it's slow. But anyway, let's get into our book. We are creating NPCs using AI because I find it hilarious, some of the things that they come up with. So my dog is scratching at the door because he wants in, because he cannot be separated from you for 5 minutes. But so we are creating characters. We're using non-player characters, NPCs, by Jeff Ashworth. So we go through and we pick one with the roll of the dice to see what we'll do. So I got my dice bag here. Oh, cold. Let's see. I'll use this. I'll use these dice. So I'm going to roll a d6 to see what we get this time. D6. That's a 2. So we are going with small town tenants. I should have rolled a d4 for that, but whatever. It's a 2. We'll go with that. And then we are doing oddballs and outsiders. So small town tenants, oddballs, and outsiders. Too far. Okay. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll use a d10, to roll and see who we get. Where's my d10? D10, no. Where are you at? There you are. Couldn't find it. That is a 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh. Ravin de Blanc is our NPC for today. Their quote is, "I've said my piece." So a squat, slightly hunched over gnomish woman with a face covered in scratches or wrinkles, possibly both, who moves with a wobbly gait, though faster than expected, giving her age and stature. For the insightful, though she seems to seethe with hatred for all who dwell here, it's clear Ravin truly loves this town. Oh, that's cute. She is let's find out her story here. Nearly 4 centuries ago, when the river that flowed through this valley was as wide as a lake, 7 families poured their sweat and souls into establishing a village here. Part of their efforts involved ensuring the river wouldn't overtake the town. Their solution was the Hold Fast, a stone imbued with the power of control water spell. This rock's existence has largely been lost to time, but Ravin de Blanc's grandmother helped place it. She helped form this town from nothing, and Ravin would rather drown than let those who think they are better than the town itself take it further away from its founder's intentions. What some view as progress, she sees as corruption, and her outbursts have made her a pariah in her hometown. So she doesn't want anything bad to happen to her town, doesn't like a lot of change. She wants and needs. Ravin is desperate to no longer feel like a stranger where she grew up, and for those who dwell here to have more respect for their forebears. So she sounds like a little bit like a boomer, if I'm being honest. A little bit like a boomer. She wants more respect. She doesn't want to feel like a stranger. That's fair. Ravin, secret or obstacle. Ravin knows the location of the Hold Fast, knows how to reverse its power, and knows no other way to wash away the filth currently masquerading as citizens of the town she loves. Ooh, dark. So she knows where the stone is, and she could, if she wanted to, wipe the town off the map and reset it. Interesting. She could be good or evil. She's a very gray character. She's carrying 1 copper piece, 4 silver pieces, 9 gold pieces, an original copy of the town charter, and more than her fair share of grudges. So yeah, very interesting NPC. I kind of dig her vibe though. I like the gray characters where you're like, I can see that, she wants to protect her town and stuff. Like, but whole like genocide of a town, I don't think that's a good idea. Like, that's dark, but you also want to protect oh boy, getting to all the dilemmas. So I am going to type in her description, and then we'll figure out what she looks like. So let me get that there. All right, so let's go to the other screen. There we go. So let's see what our lovely AI gives us this morning. So a squat, slightly hunched. That's not how you spell hunched. Hunched over woman. Gnomish woman, sorry. Gnomish woman. With a face covered in scratches. I'm going to say and wrinkles. And wrinkles, who moves with a wobbly gait, though faster than expected given her age and stature. I don't know if it's going to pick up that very well. Like, translate that very well. Ew. That's friggin' terrifying. Why does it look like a man? And why are his shoes... Gotta love AI. This is why I do this, because it's freaking hilarious. God, it's so bad. Okay, let's I'm gonna get rid of that part because it doesn't really do a good descriptor. So let's try that. Why? Why does she look like that? Like, that just seems really freaking weird. So I'm going to just erase this and just put gnome woman. And that's what it gives me. Okay. Okay. Let's try older gnome woman whose face is covered in scratches. Nope. Scratches and scratches. Let's see. Okay, that's a little bit more what I expect right there. A gnome woman whose face is covered in scratches. Yeah, that's a lot better. Although I do want to see her a little bit angry. Seems angry. Let's try that. What? Why is there blood on her face? Jeez. What, you angry and you cut? Oh my god. Okay, well, if there wasn't blood on her cheeks, this would be great. Let's try this one more time. Again, with the blood. What the? Okay, that's better. Although she doesn't seem angry. Let's try it again. Okay, she's just got the tattoos, which again is fine. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm looking for right there. The anger. She, let's see, moves with a wobbly gait. Yeah, I could kind of see her moving with a wobbly gait, all grumpy and cantankerous. So let's take that. That so far is the best one for me. Let's try Google Gemini. Create an image of a older gnome woman whose face is covered in scratches. She seems angry and is slightly hunched over. Let's see what they give us. See if it's better than the other one. So, okay, so that's terrifying. I like it, but she looks a little too mean. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she would definitely be the villain if that's how she looked. So let's try to edit that. She seems, instead of angry, annoyed. Let's see if that changes anything. Okay, yeah, I like this one. Yeah, I would totally see that. I totally see Ravin as either this one or this one. I'm kind of digging this one a little bit more, to be honest. She just seems very, like, disapproving. I feel judged by this Ravin. This Ravin, I get like a disgust. I'm so disgusted with you feeling. They're both good, but so. All right. Anyway, so that is Ravin de Blanc, and she's got a grudge and could kill the whole town if she wanted to. So I guess maybe if you're a adventurer that encounters her, you should stop her, try to reason with her, or try to fix the town. Both. I don't know. Anyway, you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Stay warm if you're in a cold part of the world, and if not, then enjoy your warmth. So, all right, bye guys.